Hello, Shore Stampers. Happy Saturday. I hope you guys are having a good day. I apologize for being a little later in the week than I had hoped. Um, Ended up spending the day at the RMV, but I finally got my real ID after the fourth time, my friends. So that was good. Let me just make sure I'm in the right spot before I get too far. Yes. All right, there we go. So we're going to chat a little bit about team building today. So I'm super excited for the special they have this month. So I think it's going to be a great little perk for those of us that are building our teams. And even if you don't already have a team, this is a great time to start if you would like to. So some of the perks with team building, of course, is the first and foremost thing for me when I'm looking to build my team is to be sure that I am alerting my customers of the best opportunities for them, right? So I never look at team building as what's in it for me. I always look at it as what's in it for them, because that's usually the case. It's the best option for them. So somebody actually asked me the other day, like, is it better for me to stay your customer or to join your team? And I'm like, it's really not about what's better for me. I get perks either way, and you will too, obviously, but it's what's best for them. And in that case, it was really better for her to join with the starter kit, because especially this month, this is the best starter kit I've ever seen in terms of the amount of value you get. So as always, the starter kit is $99 plus tax, and then you get free shipping. And then for this month, for the rest of May, you also will be able to add or select $165 worth of product, and you're only paying that $99 plus tax, right? So that's like $66 in free product, which is more than we've ever had. And they get to pick whatever it is, which is great for those of our customers that are already avid scrapbookers or card makers, because they can pick what it is that they want in that starter kit, right? So it's a really amazing offer this month, and it just will benefit those of our customers that are, frequent buyers, right? Because they're going to earn rewards still. They're going to be able to have a discount on all their future purchases, and they'll get the amazing starter kit to start. So I've kind of laid out a little plan. We're a little behind schedule because we're already at the end of week 1, basically, for the month. But I think this month is a little bit longer too. So we might actually have a little bit extra time. But there's not a lot of times, like from the time the special started this week to the end of the month is only 25 days. So in order to kind of make this happen, we'll have to do a set amount of things relatively quickly, right? So I'm going to give you like a weekly schedule that you can follow if you choose to, right? But let's kind of talk a little bit about why you'd want to add to your team, right? So team building is crucial if you would like to earn an incentive trip. I mean, you can do it without team. You can earn it with $40,000 in sales in the year. But that can be tricky to do on your own, right? Especially if you're not already doing events and things like that. It takes a little time to build that base and be able to kind of make that happen. So if you don't have that, then you can build your team, and when they promote to different titles or different levels, then you and they receive trip points. So that's always good too. So when they first start out, they are a bronze demonstrator. So they're just starting out at the bottom of the level there. When they hit $900 in sales for their career, so whenever that is, whether that's a weekend or 9 years in, you as the recruiting demonstrator or the team building demonstrator, the one that signed them up, will get a $1,500 point bonus. They don't get one in that sense or that case, but the rest of the promotions they do, because that's not like an official promotion. It's just what they call qualified. And so with a qualified recruit, you get 1,500 points towards the trip. And if you get 5 qualifieds in a Stampin' Up! Year, so October 1st through September 30th, then you get a performance bonus as well. And then you get an additional performance bonus for each one of the demonstrators after that hit that qualified mark within that year period. So you can actually make a little bit of extra cash with that too. So that's just kind of giving you a bonus for your like guidance to new team members, right? So then the next step is Bronze Elite, and that's their first $1,800 in rolling 12-month sales. And again, you'll get 1,500 points for each time they do that. And then a performance bonus for each 5 title promotions above Bronze Elite or above for a calendar year as well. So there's definitely reasons why you'll want to add to your team and be able to kind of be more of a leader and a team builder, right? But the best deal for them, oftentimes, if they're hobbyists, which most of us as crafters are, right, they can build their stash at a discount. So, and they get to keep that discount usually for at least 4 months, sometimes longer depending on when they join. So let's just go ahead, and you can always add questions in the comments below. So if you want more details on, you know, the whys or the hows or specifics like that, feel free to post those in the group below. But I'm going to kind of stick to our plan for like weekly tasks to do for the next few weeks so that you can actually sign up some new people into your team. And again, just, you always want to come from a spot of what is best for them, not for you, but for them. And in this case, the starter kit is amazing, and it's best for any crafter that actually spends some money on product, because it will be worthwhile in the long term, especially with the new rewards program. Because I don't know if you know this, but as demonstrators, we actually earn Stampin' Rewards from the new program on our retail amount. So it's what's in the catalog. So if the catalog says the product's $30, we earn rewards on the $30, not the 30 minus our 25% discount, right? So sorry, the cat is on the table and she's dragging the camera with her. So that's good to know too, and that's a great perk for our customers as well. T, stop, sit. So that's kind of exciting too. So let's go through what my suggestions are for your weekly tasks. So week 1, which would be this week, right? We're actually a little bit behind because we're almost at the end of week 1. But week 1, you want to send out an email that is to your customers, and it should be an email dedicated to the starter kit and only the starter kit. So don't put in your schedule, don't put in, you know, this newest product you love, don't put anything but here's the starter kit offer, here's the, you know, the discount, here's what you can pick, and that's it, right? And then at the bottom, you can put your join link. I usually do it as a button, and then you can get that from the Stampin' Up! Website. So if you log in as a demonstrator, you can go ahead and click on the My Links button, and then do join, and then you can do create link and copy that link and put it right into your email, so that if they decide this is something they want to do, they just hit the button and then they're ready to go. So it's super easy for them to be able to use and store too, for like they're not ready to jump right this minute. They'll have that in their inbox right at the beginning of this promotion and be able to use it at any point this month. When you keep kind of sprinkling in those information or that information about the starter kit throughout the month, they may end up, you know, deciding towards the end there, hey, you know what, this does sound like a good idea, and then they'll have that link already ready and handy. So still in week 1, we also want to do a social media post, basically the same info, just telling them, you know, what the starter kit is, you know, what they get, how much it is, all that kind of stuff. And then if you want a little challenge for this week, you could also do a video. And what I would suggest is you can do a pre-recorded one if you want, if you're not really comfortable with Facebook Live. And sometimes talking and about something that's like a promotion is a little bit harder to do live. So you could do it as a recorded video so that you can stop it if you need to. And then you can just keep it pretty generic for the most part. So I would talk about the starter kit in general. I mean, it's a good deal all the time. So you can go ahead and do that. And then, sorry, I had to get the cat out of the way. She was all over the place. She was distracting me, as you can tell. So you can kind of keep it, you know, $99, free shipping. You get at least a 20% discount for, you know, as long as you're active, which is your first full quarter plus a month for pending, right? And then you can also mention in that video, just say, and for May 2025, you also get an additional, usually it's 125 worth of product, and now it's 65, so that's an extra $40 on top. So you can add that in as well. And so that would be the way to do the video. And that way you can have it living on YouTube. And if somebody asks for more information, you can go ahead and, send them the link and they can watch that. Plus, people might find it on YouTube on its own too. So that's a great little challenge for you in week 1. And you can also refer to it throughout the month as well. So week 2, this is probably the most labor intensive week of them all, but you can do some personalized reach outs and cards, particularly if you have time, because again, we're already at the end of the week. So if you could, bang out a few cards this weekend, personalized cards using new product, that's key. You want to use like new in colors or a new bundle or a new suite so that you're enticing them with new goodies. They might be like, oh, I really want that. I just actually had that happen today. I had somebody place an order for materials for a card that I sent them. So when you send new cards or send cards and it has new goodies on it, people often will want those products or any goodies, right? Which is why I try to stick to non-retired stuff when I'm sending thank you cards. So you're going to create, whatever that number is, 5 cards, 10 cards, 25 cards, well, however many you think you might need for the month, and you're going to have them ready to go. Set a goal as to how many you want to send, right? So if you want, and remember, it's a numbers game. So if you would like to have 5 new team members, then you probably want to send at least 10 cards, right? Maybe 15. So set a goal for how many you want to send. And then when you're writing them out, write them out with a personal message. You're writing this to this specific person for a specific reason. And I'll tell you who to send these to in a second. But a lot of times, like one of the people that you may want to send this to is your big spenders, right? So you may just want to send them a little message and be like, you spend a lot of money with me and I appreciate you as a customer, but I think this might be a better deal for you. Here's the, rundown. Here's what you get. Here's the, coupon you get for moving forward, and you kind of make it all personal, sign it with your name, handwritten, make it very one-to-one, and then you can send those out. And you could even include a little product sample, right? Maybe you do a little swatch card of each of the new in colors, or maybe you put a few of the new embellishments in there, or maybe you do some designer series paper swatches. So you can kind of make a little bit of a sampler of some sort for them to be able to have and kind of see some of the new goodies, okay? And then, so these are the kind of groups of people you may want to send. One would be big spenders. So somebody who spends a lot of money anyway, they might as well be getting a discount. That's what's best for them, right? And then they can get their rewards in that retail. They can get 20 to 25% off depending on where their title is. And it's just a really good deal for them. And number 2 would be past team members. So if you've had team members in the past, it might be a great time to reach out to them and be like, hey, do you want to come back? This is an amazing deal. You can come back. You can have your discount again. You can get all the new product. Because remember, we have a brand new, beautiful catalog. So this is a great little tool for recruiting, because they're going to be like, oh, I have all this stuff that I want, but I can't afford it, right? So this is a great way for them to be able to get more from their money, because they're going to get more bang for their buck. And then the number 3 group of people you may want to look at to send cards, personalized cards to, is people that you want on your team. Maybe it's your best friend. Like, what better way to spend time with your friend than to have you both being demonstrators and shopping, and you guys can shop for the same product and do kits together and projects together. Or maybe it's just someone you know is an amazing stamper and you would just love to have her inspiration and creativity on your team, right? Think of it as building your own little community, right? You're picking your favorite people in the world and you're putting them all together, and that's your little Stampy community. Those are your family, your chosen family. So that's what that's kind of about. So it's a great way to kind of create your own little community around something you already love. All right, so that's week 2. If you can't or you don't have time to finish like personalized cards before the end of this week, which is 2 days from now, right? You can just reach out with like personal messages or texts, but it's going to be way more powerful and way more effective if you actually send cards. That's what we do, right? So keep that in mind as well. You'll have more impact, I think, that way. Week 3 is going to be a website or blog post. So if you don't have a website or a blog post or a blog page, you can, you know, just do an email again. But if you have those things, it's always good to be able to kind of reference people back to that. You also want to share your benefits page. So in your email, you'll want to reference this benefits page, and you can see mine on right now it's on bytheshorestamping.com. But if you go to my website, there is a page that has the benefits of being a Shore Stamper, and it's basically, you know, you get the discount, and you know, you get to see product early, you get to attend Stampin' Up! Events, you get to have your own little crafty community, right? So like all of those things you'll want to lay out on your page, either on a website page, or if you don't have a website, you can create like a document, like a Word document or something that you can actually send an email to people or print out and mail to people in cards. So that would be something you'd want to be sharing a lot this week. And then you'll want to do another social media post about the starter kit, but make it a different angle. So maybe the first post you did in week 1, you did about the discount, right? So this week, maybe you do the friendship angle, and you're like, I love Stampin' Up! Because of all these friends and community that I have made over the years by being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. And I could do this very easily, especially because you can add some pictures too in this post if you wanted. And for me, I'm going to be with all my Stampy friends next week in Disney for the Stampin' Up! Incentive trip. So I could either approach it as, you know, you can earn fun trips and go and travel and see new places, or I could do, I've met tons and tons of friends from all over the world. Like I have friends in Australia and England and, I'm trying to think where else, New Zealand, because of Stampin' Up! So you can pick the angle you want to focus on this week, but make another social media post and maybe add some photos to that as well. So those are your little tips for this week. And then for the final week, week 4, this is going to be your final push. This is your final reminder. Don't let this slip by, right? This is an amazing deal, amazing opportunity for our customers to get in on something really fun. Not only the community and the crafting, but also just a really good deal, right? So send one more email, again, just focused on the starter kit. Don't put a million other things in there. Just keep it short and sweet and to the point, but all focused on the starter kit. And then follow up. You're going to have to follow up a lot in that week 4. So you might have gotten some inquiries or some people reaching out over the month, just asking questions, or maybe, you can see in your email system whether or not people have clicked on, if you have an email service provider, you can click to see who's been looking at the emails or who's been, kind of clicking on the benefits page, that kind of stuff. And so you can reach out to them, send them a text, send them a message, send them a messenger message, however you can reach out to them and just be like, do you have any questions? Or, are you interested in this? Can I help you make any decision? Can I help you put your starter kit together? Just a reminder that this ends, May 31st, whatever you feel is the most pertinent information for them. I mean, my best tip for you is don't regurgitate on people, right? Don't give them all the information at once. It's just going to overwhelm them and push them away. So you want to be really tactful and, gentle in your approach and be like, is there anything that I can answer for questions? I know this is ending May 31st. So if it's something you're, interested in, feel free to let me know. I can answer questions, so just keep it light and easy, not a big, this is what you get and you have to do your minimum by this, and if you don't do that, you're gonna get dropped, and if this happens and that, don't go into all of that, right? Don't be like, oh, and then if you get to bronze elite, you get this amount, and if you get to silver, you get this, right? So just kind of keep it really simple and straightforward, and just the beginning information. We can always guide them once they are a team member. You just want them to take advantage of the deal if that's what's best for them at this point. So that's kind of my tips. So week 1, email dedicated just to the starter kit, a social media post, and maybe a video if you want to challenge yourself a little bit. Week 2, you're going to send out personalized cards. You're going to let them know that you want that person and why. Why would you love to have that person on your team? Wouldn't that feel really good if you got a card and it said, I really want you on your team because, I love your personality and you're fun and bright. I love your creativity, whatever it is, right? Send those to your big spenders, past team members, and anyone you actually really want on your team. Not that we don't want everybody on our team, but there's certain people that you just connect with, right? And so those might be the people you want to reach out with. Week 3, website or blog post. Be very busy sharing your benefits page, both in email or social media or just in links. And then another social media post. And then week 4 is your final reminder. send one last reminder, do some follow-up messages through text, email, however you want to communicate, and just do that last little push to see if you can add anyone to your team this year. So that is my little suggestions for team building with this new promotion. If you have any questions, pop them below. And if you have any tips or tricks that have worked for you in the past, feel free to share them with your fellow Shore Stampers here in the group as well, because we can all learn from each other. And that's why we all want to be part of this, right? Because we have that built-in community with all of us. So I hope you guys have a great weekend. Let me know again if you have any questions. Otherwise, I will see you again soon. Bye for now.